Absolutely freezing here today, and that is why I'm going to be working on my paraffin heater. It's for the first time I'm going to be changing the wick on this heater. The big problem is that it's one of those no-name brands where you can't exactly find the manufacturer of the heater, so it's very difficult to get the correct size wick. So what I'm going to be doing is taking this wick out and measuring it up to make sure I get the right replacement. So I would recommend, if you are going to be buying a heater, make sure you know exactly what size the wick is so that you can order a new one when the time comes. So let's get going. So that's the heater, and the first thing I'm going to do is take out the container with the paraffin in it. There's a little lever inside here where the container rests, and if you take the container out, you cannot keep the wick up. So the empty container goes back, and then I can raise the wick. And now I'm going to burn this wick and let the heater run dry. Because changing a wet wick is going to be very difficult, and it's going to be quite difficult to measure up. So I need the wick to be dry. So this is called dry burning. So this is going to take probably a couple of hours, so we'll come back a little bit later and see how it's going. So I let this run for about 4 or 5 hours yesterday, and I'm sure that the wick is pretty much dried out. And now I'm going to take that out. There is a screw on either side here and one at the back, which I've removed already, and then this knob can just get pulled off and we can take the cover off. The next thing you have to do is take these little wing nuts. There are 4 wing nuts on each corner. Now that the wing nuts have been taken off, you can lift the whole mechanism off the top like that. Don't worry about the wires, you can just leave them all connected. Put it to one side. Now I'm just going to put the dial back on, and if you look inside you can see how the whole operation works. If I turn the dial and raise the wick, so you can see over here there's a little pin that goes into the sleeve over here, so that you cannot lift this off. So we've got to get rid of that little pin over there. And to do that, I'm going to take the dial off again, and you will see there's a little screwdriver, a little screw on the top, which I will just take out. This will slip off. Then I'll put the dial back on again. Now when I turn the dial, it will raise the wick all the way to the top. Carry on turning, and it slips out the side like that. Now you'll be able to pull the wick out, take it right off the shaft, and always have a little container because it's going to be a messy business. And this is probably a very important measurement. From the top of that sleeve to the end of the wick is approximately 5.5 centimeters, 55 millimeters. You'll also notice that this wick has got little pins over there. There are 3 of them. 2, 3. So to take the wick out, you have to press the pin in. Now I'm going to press the wick flat Just measure the length, which is approximately 13 to 13.5 centimeters, 135 mils. And I'll press it flat over here. And across the top, outside diameter, is 10.5. This is the manual that came with the machine. I'm actually very surprised I've still got it. That is the number over there. There's no make over here, but I'm going to look up that number. And on the inside, under specifications, which you can probably not see, I'll try and take a photo a little bit later, but right at the bottom it says type of wick is an F. I wrote that. So now we are a couple of days later, and I have ordered the new wick, and it arrived, as you can see. According to my manual, as I mentioned before, I was looking for a type F mesh, type F wick. Excuse me, mesh is a wick in French. I've also found out that that number RCA 200 is exactly the same, and when it arrived the packet says NSH7, so all these are the same wick. When I measured earlier and I laid this flat, I had a measurement of 10.5 centimeters. This one here is also 10.5, and that's probably the most important measurement because it's got to fit around the shaft. I also measured the measurement between the pin and the top, and that one is just over 6, and this one here is nearly 7. So this is actually worn down quite a lot. So now I'm taking the wick out of the packet, and I've got to insert it into this metal sleeve. Just remember which way this goes around. In my case, that is at the top, and you'll notice that there are a couple of holes over here. There's only two of these holes, but there are 3 slots, and there are 3 pins on the wick, so the pins have to go into the slots. There. And we'll put the new one in, fit it over the shaft. Make sure this faces the front. Now with this part facing the front, I'm going to turn the dial until that little pin goes into the groove. So that now will raise and lower the wick. So before you put this guide back on, just make sure that this wick is turned all the way down to the bottom, and you notice that this side now has a flat part on the top, and that's when you put the guide on. And now just to check that everything is working, put the dial back on, hold the little lever down. So now we're able to lift that wick right to the very top, and when it's over there we can put the top part on. And now we can put the wing nuts back on again. So now it's just a matter of putting the top back on and slide the dial back onto the shaft. And remember to leave it for a few hours before you light it, so the wick can absorb all the paraffin. Okay, so I've waited about 2 hours, and I'm just going to turn the wick up. I'm going to light it with this. Cover it up. So I've just turned the lights off so you can see how it's burning. It's red almost to the very top, which is a very good sign. So hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching, and keep warm.